Hello everyone and welcome back to another live stream with me, Grizzly K. This is Grizzly True Crime. And today's case takes us to Arizona, and it's been a months-long investigation into the murder of two teenagers who were camping. So sad. And finally, a suspect has been arrested. And it was a little bit of a shock because the suspect was trying to help the police by offering tips and saying that he flew his drone around the campsite, and now he turns out to be the guy that's charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder in Arizona, where the death penalty is possible. They haven't said that they're pursuing that yet, but it's possible. Like, oh my goodness. And this guy, the suspect, is 31 years old, married, former National Guard. What? Like, this is a lot. So welcome. Thank you so much for being here. Please like and share so that others can also learn about this case as we continue to follow it. And let us dive into the timeline. And then we're going to watch the press conference that they had just, I think, yesterday or the day before. Maybe it was on Friday, I think it was. The most recent press conference. We're going to be watching that one together today, where they share more details about the investigation. All right, welcome to my moderators. Thank you so much for everything you do. To all my patrons, members, subscribers, and any locals in chat. In fact, let me show you quickly where the area is before we look at the presentation. Carlissa Van Auker, thank you so much for your $10 super sticker. I really appreciate that so much. Also, thank you to everyone that is buying coffees and doing all those things, right? The PayPals and all that. And especially, I saw that over the weekend, 2 people signed up for monthly support on Buy Me a Coffee, which is an option. And that's always, it's so sweet. I'm still going to send you a message to thank you personally. But thank you so much for signing up for monthly coffee support. My goodness. Okay, so quickly, Samantha Who says a big happy birthday to my husband, Dean. Happy birthday, Dean. I hope that you had a great day and a great weekend. Thanks, Samantha. All right, so this is the area that we're looking at, this Tonto National Forest area. And here's this Mount Ord. And if you look here at this route, this is the State Route 87. And they're going to reference that area. So I think the campsite was somewhere there. they didn't mention exactly where the teens were camping and where the suspect was camping. But I would think it's around here, this Mount Ord West trailhead being, you know, when they say it's quite close to State Route 87. If you're local and you know exactly where it is, I mean, you can always tell me as well. I don't think we have to know, like pinpoint the location, but it's around here, right, in Arizona. So welcome to all Arizona Grizzlies as well. It's always great to have locals in chat. All right, so let me first show you just the timeline and what happened. My goodness, what a heartbreaking story. On May 25th of 2025, Pandora Kjolsrud, is that, I think how you say it, Kjolsrud, 18, and Evan Clark, 17, left for what was intended as a day-long camping trip in the Mount Ord area, but they extended it overnight. So that is what's reported. I'm not too sure if they're like, you know, maybe they packed a tent thinking, well, if we hike longer, then we'll just stay over and come back the next morning. But yeah, they went on May 25th. They were friends. So Pandora and Evan, off they went to that beautiful, it must be beautiful there as well, that Tonto National Forest area, to go for a lovely hike, you know? One would think, you know how we say in cases like, shame, if a female alone, for example, gets attacked, you're like, shame, I wish you had someone with her. Well, in this case, there was someone with this young lady. It was a guy and a girl together, and they were killed on their camping trip for what appears to be no reason by a stranger danger. My goodness. Talks to Animals said today is my birthday and G's doing a live. What a wonderful present. Happy birthday to you as well. Talks to Animals. So look at them. Shame, 18 and 17. Mount Ord is an area of Tonto National Forest located between Mesa, Arizona, and Payson. So let's quickly go to the next slide. Pandora and Evan were friends who were both students at Arcadia High School in Phoenix, Arizona. They did not return as scheduled on May 26th, prompting one of their parents, I believe it was Pandora's mom, to contact authorities because they'd not heard back from them. And that was very unusual, you know, to not hear anything back. Was like, why have the messages gone dark? What is going on? And her mom immediately called the police. So the Maricopa County Sheriff's Office deputies responded to the area off State Route 87. A sergeant initially located Evan's silver SUV, but could not make contact with anyone. So to them, it was quite a strange scene. Like, what is going on here? Here's like this vehicle. Where are the two teens, and so they started looking. LL, happy Grizzlyversary to you. Thanks for 1 year of support. Okay. So then backup was called, and further search up the mountain revealed a campsite where signs indicated that something had been dragged away. About 1.5 miles from the vehicle, the bodies were found in the brush on May 27th of 2025, having been shot multiple times and apparently dragged to conceal them. The deaths were initially treated as suspicious but later confirmed as homicides. The MCSO led a months-long investigation, appealing to the public for tips due to the remote location and lack of immediate leads. I believe they also had the FBI involved to help them. Multiple tips came in, including one from the suspect himself, who reported camping in the area from May 23rd to May 26th and flying a drone, claiming that he saw two young people near the campsite in a silver SUV, matching the victim's description, but denied any interaction or entering the vehicle. Another tip from campers described a man acting strangely, which focused attention on this guy, Thomas Brown. Now, Tom Brown posted on May 29th on Facebook. Somebody put this, ABC 15, there's a news article that was shared that said 2 Valley teens found dead near Mount Ord in Maricopa County. And Tom Brown literally said, Nicole, Snoopy, and I were there days before. Terrible news, especially with the last days of school just prior. Like, this guy has some audacity, you know. And I think he's going to pull the mental health card. But I think this is there's a lot of things that are already way too calculated, you know, in my opinion, to play the mental health card. Like, you literally going to post that? We were there. Terrible news. Especially with the last days of school just prior. And there he's pictured with his dog. That's the suspect. Okay. And he actually tells the cops, yeah, I was there. I flew my drone. Got footage. You want to see? Also, I did see 2 teens in a silver SUV. What? Now, Thomas said that he and his wife planned to camp there from May 23rd to the 26th. But he says that she left on the morning of the 25th, and he stayed one more night, and he left on the morning of the 26th. Now, the way the police worded in the press conference, which we're going to watch together, is that according to him, his wife camped with him. So I do wonder if she actually did. Or was this a solo camping trip? You know? Was she there? And if so, then I wonder still, I mean, we have questions, right? Why did she leave then on the 25th? You know? And then why did he stay by himself? Because, my goodness. Tom Brown on May 26th posted, yeah, that's, you know, when the teens were killed. They camped on the 25th overnight, so between sometime in the evening of the 25th and the 26th, he posted on Facebook that day and said, I'm regretting staying one more night, lol. Got a gang of rando adults playing music and camping next to me though. I picked up Culver's on the way home, totally with it. Snoopy gets another treat after having Nicole give him a shampoo, shower, or tick check, and I gave him a conditioner, shower, or tick check with a little love face emoji. Now, Thomas Brown, 31, served in the Arizona Army National Guard from October 2013 to December 2022, including a deployment in Djibouti from July 2020 to April of 2021. You see, I think he's gonna say PTSD. No, I don't think he can justify what he's accused of doing based on military PTSD, right? Like, what on earth is going on here? Why would he camp there? If his wife left, why would he stay alone another night? Why would he take drone footage? Why would he try to offer the police tips? Why would he post these things? He literally posted all over. I mean, the police were looking right at him. They're like, like, red flag. Like, he's posting all over the place that he was there, he camped there, he saw the teens. I mean, did he think being obvious like that would help? I don't know, right? Okay, if you are new here as well, welcome. I hope that you will consider subscribing and becoming part of this community. I see lots of new faces, especially locals here as well. Welcome to all locals. Now, key evidence included a pair of bloody gloves found near the vehicle with Pandora's blood on the outside and the suspect's DNA inside, as well as his DNA recovered from inside Evans' SUV. Whoa, contradicting Thomas's statements. On August 4th of 2025, a DNA match was confirmed from swabs of the bodies, the vehicle, and the gloves. Authorities determined that he provided false or misleading information. He later admitted to an interaction with the teens while hiking. But there was no evidence of prior association. They were complete strangers. Now, he was arrested on October 2nd of 2025. So even though the DNA match was on August 4th, a DNA match was confirmed from swabs of the body. So maybe that's the DNA match to the victim's blood and the vehicle and all that. But he was arrested October 2nd. So they were very busy behind the scenes, you know, with this investigation. After the teens were murdered, everybody was scared in the area, scared to go hiking, scared of what happened, who could do this, why. And so it felt like forever, right, for an arrest to be made, even though in the big picture, 4 months is not long. They were working very hard behind the scenes. And there, I'm going to show you a video of him as well. So interesting. Yeah, October 2nd, he was arrested, booked into the Maricopa County Jail on 2 counts of first-degree murder, which in Arizona could qualify him for the death penalty. Now, before I read more of this, I do want to show you a quick video clip, which is going to be this one. Let's quickly, sorry, wait, I just want to, well, we'll just play it from the beginning. Let's go like this.
News alert. Detectives now say DNA helped them track down the suspect in a high-profile murder case.
The Maricopa County Sheriff's Office giving an update in the arrest of 31-year-old Thomas Brown, who's accused of shooting and killing 2 Arcadia teens while on a camping trip. Fox 10's Kinsey Beach has been following the story from the very beginning. She joins us now live with what we are learning. Good morning.
Yeah, Ty, Anita, from the very beginning, the Maricopa County Sheriff's Office says they were looking into Thomas Brown after Brown made multiple posts on social media admitting to camping on Mount Ord that weekend. He also gave tips to the Maricopa County Sheriff's Office, handing over video from that weekend saying that he was helping them. But now Thomas Brown has been charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder for the murder of Pandora Kjolsrud and Evan Clark. Now, deputies say this was a random attack on the 2 teens and Brown acted alone. The suspect, 31-year-old Thomas Brown, contacted the sheriff's office following the murders, saying he had video from the mountain the same weekend the teens were killed. But it was ultimately Brown's DNA found inside the 2 teenagers' car, on a pair of bloody gloves, and additional evidence at the crime scene that led to his arrest. 5 other witnesses came forward from that weekend who came across Brown on the mountain, who identified him and recall him acting strange. For the first time, we heard from Pandora Kjolsrud's mother, Simone, today, who says her daughter was full of joy and light. Simone contacted police after constant communication with her daughter went dark on May 25th.
Based on that evidence collected, Thomas Brown provided false.
Okay, we're going to watch the press conference together. So those are clips from the press conference. So I just want to show you that. I see a lot of you in chat saying he's wearing a Charlie Brown shirt. Let's quickly go back there. I think it's this one, right? And he's got the little bird from Charlie Brown. What's that bird's name again? Yeah. His name is Thomas Brown. Tom Brown. Wearing a Charlie Brown shirt. So creative, right? This guy, oh my word. Okay, sorry, the snark is building up. What? Like this, I can't believe this crime. So he's accused of, he's innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. I'm just listening to what they were saying and like, damn, he was trying to help her. Inserting himself, he's really like that cliched red flag, you know, when people insert themselves in cases and then they try to help. Oh, okay, and then they get arrested. There we go, Woodstock, thank you. Thank you, everyone. Okay, so that was a Charlie Brown pop quiz, and you all passed. Okay, throughout the course of the investigation, multiple DNA swabs were obtained and were sent out for testing. On 8/4/25, detectives learned that Thomas Brown's DNA, so it was Thomas Brown's DNA, was a match to a swab collected from victim 2's vehicle along with victim 1 and victim 2. Detectives also learned Thomas Brown's DNA was a match contributor from swabs collected from the inside of the 2 gloves found near victim 2's vehicle. Victim 1 was also a matched contributor inside both gloves, while victim 2 was a contributor on the inside of only one of the gloves. Why would he leave the gloves there? Like, who is this guy? Why would he do this in the first place? That's a huge question in this case, right? In addition, detectives learned a match for victim 1's blood was found on the exterior of both gloves. On 9/27/2025, at approximately 7:28 hours, MCSO homicide detectives returned to Mount Ord in an attempt to retrace the area on the west side of the mountain, which Thomas mentioned he hiked up to the camp area as well as down back to his vehicle on 5/25/2025. While attempting to retrace the area mentioned by Thomas, so he's giving them areas to search. Okay, so again, while attempting to retrace the area mentioned by Thomas, the suspect, detectives found multiple items in the area. The items found were in the area of the mountain near a trail not immediately accessible to any vehicles. The items collected were associated with the victims from social media posts and video surveillance obtained from a store. Based on the evidence collected, Thomas Brown provided false or misleading information regarding his involvement. Despite stating he was never inside victim 2's vehicle, Thomas Brown's DNA evidence was recovered from inside the vehicle, directly contradicting that claim. Additionally, Thomas's DNA evidence was collected inside the 2 gloves located near victim 2's vehicle, containing DNA from both victim 1 and victim 2. Victim 1's blood was present on the exterior of both gloves. Further supporting evidence includes personal items belonging to victim 1 and victim 2, discovered along the trail that Thomas Brown admitted to hiking on May 25th of 2025. The totality of this evidence shows Thomas Brown's direct involvement in the incident and undermines his previous statements. Based on the above-mentioned facts, MCSO detectives arrested and booked Thomas Brown for 2 counts of first-degree murder, Arizona Revised Statute ARS 131105, right? Kerry says, in my opinion, his attempts to conceal the bodies and inserting himself into the crime equals he's showing consciousness of guilt and culpable not behavior of someone under mental health crisis. I mean, it's very brazen what he's doing. It's almost, to me, it feels almost like overconfident and toying with the police a bit, or I don't know what is going on here, but it's just, yeah, he's scary. I think the suspect is scary, of course. It's an understatement. But just even this picture and just the way he is. He's being held on a $2 million cash-only bond. On April 25th, he posted, so that was before the murders. The murders happened on between May 25th and 26th of 2025. So in April, he said, 118 days since my original VA appointment with my psychiatrist to get my controlled meds refilled. Good news, I was assigned a new psychiatrist. However, he's being separated and I can expect to be assigned a new one in approximately 90 days. Here's to having a psychiatrist appointment and my meds renewed by 200 days. Stop setting up the VA to fail in order to privatize the healthcare of all veterans for profit. He also makes a lot of political posts. So if you find his Facebook page, thank you to Grizzly Cat for helping me narrow down some of these many posts on his Facebook page as well. We were looking at that together. Oh my word, he posts a lot. Okay, so the point is, it almost feels, I'm just sharing my thoughts, okay? To me, it feels almost premeditated that he's like posting this. You know what I mean? That's why I think, are you going to play the mental health card? Are you going to? I think so, but we shall see. There he also said on May 31st, so that was after the murders, he said, edit, cone of shame, booty of shame. So, yeah, I think he needs a cone of shame. Leave the dog alone. Shame, that poor dog. Okay, he gave him the cone of shame because he said the dog is obsessively licking his paw. Now, he was self-employed as the owner of Brown's Brush LLC, a company specializing in 3D printing firearm accessories, such as custom wraps for rifles and figurines for tabletop games. He also pursued related creative work, including sewing custom hoodies and painting figurines. I can't help but think of Stefan Stearns every time I hear about painting figurines. Unfortunately, this is just like in my mind, especially with all the photos that we got from those FOIA requests and things. And if you look here, here's his page, brownsbrush.com. Here's the figurines he was painting. Now, I'm not snarking at anyone that paints these figurines. I'm sure it takes a lot of time, energy, patience. I'm not doing that. It's in context of this guy, okay? So just don't get offended if I'm thinking of Stefan Stearns when I see this. It's just, here we go. Here's another guy, oh my word, accused of 2 counts of murder of teenagers. What the hell, bro? And here's his like figurines that he was selling. Apparently, there's lots of them. It goes on and on. And then also these types of like these these types of projects, right? So that's interesting as well that he was doing that. They didn't say what type of gun he used. I don't know if it could be like a 3D printed one. People asked that, the media asked that at the press conference. So yeah, these are the things that he makes. Anyway, so we've got that. And so, yeah, so he had that company. That's what he was doing. He posted on Facebook there on the right, July 23rd. I still can't run a straight line, but I'm not wasting time pinning seams in place when I can just pedal to the metal and run a drunken seam in 10 seconds. So prior to that, he served about a decade from October 2013 to December of 2022 as an infantryman, 11B, in the Minnesota and Arizona Army National Guard, part of the 34th Infantry Division, reaching the rank of Staff Sergeant. Whoa, imagine what all the fellow National Guard guys think. Now, I've just redacted his poor wife's face here, just for her protection. I don't even know what she must be thinking right now. He got engaged to her in May of 2021, and they got married in July of 2023. And she really looks like the sweetest lady. Shame, oh my goodness. So, yeah, my only question would be, did she go camping as well? Did she leave that? And then does he normally do that? Why did he want to stay longer? Or was she not there at all? Is he lying about that? So there he wrote 2x t-shirt, lightweight hoodie. Turned out okay, but I really need more practice. Love bleaching tees. Okay, no more of that for you. You're probably going to be in prison for a long time if convicted. Which sounds like they've got, I mean, the best direct evidence possible, DNA. You know? This was posted in June of 2024. Shame, that poor dog. And just like look at him. If you're local, is this in Arizona? It could be. I mean, it could be anywhere. But I was like, oh my word. Like, is this... I don't know what he's doing. It just looks scary given the nature of the crime. That he shot, allegedly, 2 teenagers multiple times. Why? And it, like, did he normally take his weapons with him like that on a camping trip? One could say, sure, for safety. Yeah. But then did he add alcohol? And then what was he thinking? I don't know. Completely unhinged based on what he did. Allegedly. Now he's been charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder. Just here's some pictures from his Facebook of him as well. Okay, he likes making silly faces. Even in the army. Yes, indeed. Wanted to show you some army evidence. Shame. And poor Pandora and Evan's families, they've got GoFundMe set up to help with their funeral expenses, to help support the families. So I've linked those in the description box for you. Okay, so I hope that they will receive full justice. I just can't imagine. I mean, Evan was an only child, so his parents lost their only child. And I mean, 18-year-old Pandora, 17-year-old Evan, going camping, and for no reason, they get shot multiple times. I mean, we just don't know what the motive of someone like this would be. What would set him off? Why would he do that? Why would the gloves be there? And why would he then try to help the police so much? Oh my goodness. Ain't No Holler Back Girl says, similar to the Brinks couple. Yeah, it reminded me of that as well. Stabbed to death while hiking in Devil's Den. Guy didn't know them when he was only 28 years old. Yes, that as well. So we did cover that case as well. So if you guys didn't know about the Devil's Den case, then check it out. It's on my channel there. If you just type in, I think, Devil's Den arrest or something like that, those keywords, you should find it. Just type in Grizzly True Crime after that and you should find it. Okay, so yeah, Hypnotizes Lobster says, did he say there was music coming from a nearby tent that disturbed him? He did mention that, but he said when he said he regrets staying one more night, which was this one. On May 26th, he said, I'm regretting staying one more night. Got a gang of rando adults playing music and camping next to me though. I picked up Culver's on the way home, totally worth it. Snoopy gets another treat after having Nicole give him all. So we read that before, but yes, he said that. Which that May 26th could have still been the evening of May 25th because Facebook is, the time is local to you and I'm of course in Switzerland. So that could have been in Arizona time, May 25th, the night of, you know, because he said he left on the morning of May 26th. So that is what we have there. Now, let's show you the arrest footage that the Maricopa County Sheriff's Office posted. This would be of him being arrested. Colleen says, how did she get home if his wife went with? Yeah, did they go in 2 cars?
Yes, cuffs off. We're here to put in. You can put everything on that bin. Shorts. If you have any short under. Socks.
Sharon says, why say adults? Why not just people? Distancing himself from the teens. That's a good point as well. Yeah, get the Crocs off, bro. Yeah, what do you guys read from this? I mean, Bonjour Vustor says a jerk, proud of himself. I mean, he looks, yeah, it doesn't look remorseful. If that body language doesn't say remorse, shame, nothing like that. He looks like he thinks he's just there for like a checkup. Got his Crocs back. Sharon says he looks like he's in the airport. He does. He looks like he's about to board a flight. Look at his pants. Like, where have you been, bro? They actually addressed that at the press conference as well. They asked about his dirty, dirty pants. Hopefully it's mud. Okay, so that is that. Now I've still got a press conference to watch together. So let's do that. I mean, if it was loud music that annoyed him, that could be annoying, but you can't just shoot people if you're annoyed, you know what I mean? But that could really annoy someone if they're going there for peace and quiet or whatever it is. I'm just trying to think. Why? Why on earth would anyone shoot 2 teenagers multiple times? Anyway, so let's have a listen here to this press conference. Let me quickly get the date for you. Hold on one second. This press conference was 2 days ago at the time of this live stream. This time of this live stream is October 5th of 2025. It happened on October 3rd of 2025. This was a huge break in the case, of course.
I wish I didn't have to stand here and talk about this case. So I'm going to make a few comments. We're going to call Captain Lee. He led the investigation. And then we'll have a comment from somebody I think you'll find very interesting. So what a senseless, violent act, the murder of 2 young teenagers while out camping. Then comes the parents' worst nightmare, knock on the door by a sheriff's detective to tell them that their child is dead. I really want to talk about the detectives that worked this case. It's been a very difficult case to work. It happened in such a remote area. They couldn't rely on Ring cameras. They couldn't rely on pings from cell phones. And they couldn't rely on any other video that normally we would have in an urban area. So it made it very difficult and a technical investigation, and that's why it's taken this long to get this far. But I can tell you the detectives for the Maricopa County Sheriff's Office are some of the most dedicated law enforcement officers I've seen in my 40-plus year career. They worked hard. They worked days on end without going home to their own families, to their own children, to try and do the best they can to come to a conclusion with this case.
Just so you know, okay, this is Sheriff Jerry Sheridan. I like his hat. And this press conference is about 20 minutes long. So let's hear everything they've got to share with us here now that we know the timeline and the overview of the case. And we've seen the arrest footage as well.
And don't ever forget the emotional toll that it also takes on those detectives, almost as much as the family members themselves. So with that, I'd like to bring up Captain Lee, who led this case and led the detectives to the conclusion that we came to yesterday. So thank you, Captain.
Thank you, Sheriff. I appreciate it.
This is the Pandora's mom, one of the victims' moms, Shame.
The opportunity to be here today. My name is Captain Lee of the Major Crimes Division. This is where our homicide unit resides. Today we're here to share some publicly releasable information regarding the murder of Pandora Kjolsrud and Evan Clark in May of this year. I'd be remiss if I didn't first share my own condolences with Evan and Pandora's family and friends. I can't find the words to express how sorry we are for what they've gone through and for the continuing victimization that a crime like this causes. Those families want answers, and due to the litigious society that we live in, we have to be careful with the details that we share early on in cases like this. I know that this is frustrating to these families in grief, but we can't rewind the hands of time and give them what they really want back, which is what they've lost. All we can do is fight for justice for Pandora and Evan, and we remain dedicated to this cause. I'm going to give you some background about the case.
Not bad. I see it's a bit fast.
On May 26th, the Gila County Sheriff's Office received a call for service about an overdue party located in the Mount Ord area. Mount Ord is a popular camping location and a mountain in the Tonto National Forest. It's off State Route 87, somewhere between Mesa and Payson. The complainant advised GCSO that her daughter was out camping with friends, and her last known location was on Mount Ord. The complainant also provided pictures for us of her daughter's camping trip, which she had received around May 25th. When the GCSO sergeant arrived in that area, he located a vehicle later identified as belonging to Evan Clark parked off of the road. The sergeant tried to make contact.
Okay, just Bunny says, man, he talks too fast. That's my bad. Okay, I listened to everything on 1.2 or 1.5 speed, and I had forgotten to, switch it back. So sorry about that. Right now it's actually at 1.05. I can actually, in fact, just put it on normal. If you guys like to speed things up like I do, and you watch the replay, then you can speed it up yourself, right?
With any occupants there, but was unable to. And he made some suspicious observations regarding that car. The sergeant requested some backup, and a deputy arrived later to assist him on scene. GCSO deputies did not find anyone around the vehicle and later continued their search until they found a campground up further on the mountain. In that campsite, they noticed conditions that suggested there was evidence of something being dragged away from that camp area. They would then locate the bodies of Pandora Kjolsrud and Evan Clark, who were pronounced deceased on the scene. GCSO advised the Maricopa County Sheriff's Office Communications Center that they were out with a vehicle and had located 2 deceased individuals within our jurisdiction. In the early hours of May 27th, MCSO deputies, along with the homicide detectives, responded to Mount Ord to assist those GCSO deputies. The Maricopa County Sheriff's Office established jurisdiction in this matter based upon the location of this incident, and the reason for that is that the county line between Maricopa County and Gila County runs right through Mount Ord. Detectives spoke to the parents of both victims, who disclosed that the victims had left their residence in the morning of May 25th. The detectives learned that the victims were planning on camping at Mount Ord for the day and returning later on the 26th. The detectives processed multiple scenes and found many potential items of evidence and of value to us. Detectives received various tips regarding this incident over the next several days and weeks, and one of those tips revealed that there was a male subject identified as Thomas Brown who advised he had been camping on Mount Ord on that particular day. Detectives also received a tip from another group of campers who they say was camping on Mount Ord the evening of the 25th and left on the morning of the 26th. That tip indicated that the campers, while they were there, encountered an individual that they perceived as acting very strangely. The tip from those campers detailed some very specific observations that caused our detectives to heighten our focus and focus our investigative efforts into Thomas Brown's involvement, in addition to continuing to follow all the other leads that we had. During an interview with those same tipsters, they remembered parts of their outing and delineated specific facts that resolved some of the questions surrounding the location and position of evidence gathered at the crime scene. Some of this information corroborated evidence pointing to Brown's involvement in Evan and Pandora's murder. During an interview with Thomas Brown, he told detectives that he had been camping on Mount Ord from the 23rd of May to the 26th, and he had been with his wife. According to Thomas, his wife left the morning of the 25th, and he stayed behind until the morning of the 26th. He mentioned that he flew a drone around the mountain, and that was one of the reasons that we had contacted him. And he mentioned also that he had encountered a younger male and female who were in a vehicle that he described as matching Evan's car. It should be noted that Brown's descriptions regarding the victims and the victim's vehicle were consistent with those persons in those vehicles. During Brown's interview, he was asked about his travels on the mountain, and he specifically about his interactions with some of our evidentiary items. Throughout the course of the investigation, multiple DNA swabs were taken and obtained from various sources and sent out for testing, and we interviewed quite a few people. Throughout the course of the investigation, based on that evidence collected, Thomas Brown provided false and misleading information regarding his involvement. It was the comparison of his statements and that physical evidence that led us to believe that. He was apprehended and booked into MCSO jail yesterday for 2 counts of first-degree murder.
So if you missed the beginning of the live stream, they said that he said, no, he saw the car there and he saw those teens there, but he never entered the car. And they found his DNA in the vehicle and gloves with his DNA on it as well. So that was the contradiction there. When there's all these other campers, because there were apparently 4 to 5 other campers that noticed him acting very strange. I wonder I know they can't share everything, now, but I wonder what that behavior was. What kind of very strange behavior was it? And you guys are always saying, you're saying always trust your gut. Many of you are saying that now. Yeah, I mean, trust your gut. If somebody's acting very strangely and making everyone actually around them very uncomfortable, we try to learn from these cases, right? Maybe calling the police to come check it out, or leaving for your own safety, right? Removing yourself from the situation. Not that one wants to. You want to be able to camp and be able to enjoy nature and all of that too. But just for your own safety, if somebody's acting so strangely that so many people are noticing it, he was a huge red flag at the campsite, right?
I want to thank all those involved in helping bring this case to the point where it is right now. Responding GCSO deputies helped us in preserving that scene. We only get one shot at that. Lake Patrol deputies and MCSO deputies, as well as all the detectives that we had respond, the evidence technicians, the lab personnel that have worked on this case, the computer forensic experts that we still have working. Our partnership with the FBI was extremely helpful during this. Our tactical folks that helped us with other aspects of this were also extremely helpful. All those supporting personnel who worked tirelessly hand in hand in this fight for justice for Evan and Pandora and their families and friends. These detectives and the other personnel have made quite an investigative feat. Outdoor scenes, as the sheriff said, are challenging. They present various difficulties, and you can only speculate as to what those can be. I want to thank the sheriff for his support of our homicide unit during this investigation, which, as you can imagine, has been mentally, physically, and emotionally taxing. These detectives work call-outs that last for days on end, and they stay at work chasing leads until there's nothing more that can be done. I'm proud of their efforts and for their unwavering dedication to see this case through. With each break in the case, the only thing I could do was be grateful for the professional and ethical manner in which this case has been investigated and processed. Homicide investigations take time. I want to thank Pandora and Evan's families and friends for helping us and for being patient and giving us the space and time that we needed to work. We can't share certain information along the way. Sometimes that information can jeopardize the investigation, and sharing it can really mess with the end goal of these. As I've said before, some of the details are only known to us and the suspect, and that helps us verify that we have the right person as the focus of our investigation. The ultimate goal of this process is to prevent further violence and danger to the community, identify the correct suspect, put together a complete investigation, and not only arrest but ensure the successful prosecution of this case. The product that we lay on the altar of justice, which hopefully allows us to bring a sliver of peace and closure to family and friends of Pandora and Evan, is all we can do. I've been purposely vague on some details, and although we've made an arrest, we're still pre-indictment. I need to respect the hard work of our detectives by not negating all their work by sharing too much too early. And I need to respect the privacy of Evan and Pandora's families. Their loss has been in the public eye, and they deserve dignity, peace, and respect. And they deserve that more than the public needs to have their curiosity satisfied. At this time, I ask the public to give them space and respect as you would want if you found yourself in their unfortunate place. This investigation is still ongoing, and I have to remind everyone that these are allegations at this point, and Thomas Brown is considered innocent until proven guilty. Due to what I've just shared, I'll not be answering any questions regarding the specifics on evidence or witness testimony. But at this time, we do not have any information to suggest that there was any evidence of any connection between Evan Clark, Pandora Kjolsrud, and Thomas Brown. We're unaware of any allegation that Evan and Pandora's action or conduct contributed to their deaths. At this time, the information we have suggested that Brown acted alone and that there was no further danger to the community from him. Murder is one of the most heinous crimes that can be brought on a person and their family. In a way, it's the ultimate theft. Someone is literally stealing away every earthly moment that a victim would have with their families and friends. Vacations, birthdays, anniversaries, phone calls, job experiences, musical performance, movie nights, games, comfort, hugs. In the case of these two young people, future spouses and families, grandchildren, children, they were about to begin their senior year of high school, and they would soon be finding their way in the world, and they had a lifetime of experiences to look forward to. Having said that, I'd like to introduce you to someone that I've gotten to know well during this investigative process. This is Simone Kjolsrud. She is Pandora's mother. We're going to turn the time over to her.
Shame, she's so brave to speak. Can you imagine? I mean, her daughter was only 18 and Evan was only 17. That is so sad, right? Southern Cali B says, gee, can we claim the sheriff as a grizzly? Shall we? Shall we claim it? Is he a grizzly? I think people are already doing it, right? D Bullet said that mother is a grizzly. Yes, Simone is. So let's hear what she's got to say. And send her lots of hugs.
Thank you. And thank you for everything you've done for me over the past few months. My daughter, Pandora, was a beautiful, brilliant light in this world. She was so full of life and joy and love. She was the type of person you never forget after meeting her. She was always up for an adventure, and she lived every day to the fullest. Everyone who spent time with her walked away feeling her love and joy. Her joyful spirit was contagious. She had a genuine curiosity and interest in every single person she ever met. She was the kid at school who befriended every teacher and every security guard and everyone she met. She was the kid that was waving and smiling at everybody and left people feeling good. She has a big family and a lot of friends. She is so loved by so many people. We are all devastated, and we miss her every day. All of life's beauty feels less bright without her here. But the light and love and beauty she gave us will be in our hearts forever. And the darkness that she encountered on that day when she met her killer will not define her life. His darkness will never overcome her light. Over the past 4 months, I have prayed every day that her killer would eventually be brought to justice. The Maricopa County Sheriff's Office and all the homicide detectives and the FBI and all of the agencies who've contributed to this meticulous and thorough investigation. I will forever be grateful for their tireless efforts to bring justice for my daughter. She deserves justice. The homicide detectives have done an excellent job to identify the perpetrator and build the evidence necessary for an arrest. I have full faith in our judicial system to evaluate the evidence in this double homicide and find the perpetrator guilty of the violent murders he committed against 2 innocent teenagers. My daughter's life matters, and I look forward to the day the perpetrator is convicted and punished for his crimes. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Simone. It really helps to bring the reason for what we do into focus here and give some perspective to everything else that's going on.
Now, I do want to say that, you know, when we watch press conferences, we are always saying, I wish the reporters, the media had lapel mics. Yeah, in this case, there's no sound at all captured from their questions, not even mumbles. Now we have to be grateful for mumbles from now on. Okay, so they're going to ask a couple of questions. At least we can hear the answers.
At this time, we're going to take a few questions for just a few minutes. As I said earlier, I really don't want to take any specific questions regarding items of evidence that have already been mentioned. But with that...
Captain, are you aware of...
Go silent when there's questions. Wait for the answer.
Aware of social media posts, yeah.
Is there anything you could say?
Why did they do that? Why are the questions muted? You can hear it. There's potential to hear it. Anyway, they asked clearly if they're aware of all the social media posts that Thomas Brown made. And they're like, yeah, we're aware. I think he waved his own red flag. I'm right here. I'm a red flag. Look, I'm going to post all about it. What?
All I can say is that they were both shot multiple times.
We know that he...
Yeah, they're like redacting the questions. I don't know why. It's on all the feeds.
Civic at this time.
Could you speak?
Okay, then. So they were asking also about his 3D printing business, printing accessories for weapons at some point here. And they were asking if he used maybe a 3D printed weapon. So that question comes up and they say that they don't think so, but they're not actually saying what type of weapon was used. I wonder if other campers heard the gunshots going off. I would think so, out there, right?
So, generally speaking, 3D printed weapons, it's not something that functions the way a weapon that one of us carries at work, where it's repeatable, it's reliable, it continues to work. It's usually something that's got just a couple shots in it, and it's not really capable of continuing to fire, reloading quickly, things like that. And that's just generally speaking. As far as the weapon, I can't speak to whether or not that is what was used. We did obtain items of evidence related to the reason he came forward.
And he admitted to having.
We have no evidence to suggest that there was any meetup or there was any pre-relationship or that there was any way that they were associated beforehand, that there had been any communication. They were, as far as we know, complete strangers.
This is a random attack.
That's so scary, a completely random attack based on the investigation. That the suspect and the victims did not know each other.
We can't answer that question.
You described this as senseless.
For us to speculate as far as the motive right now would not be helpful for the case.
And I'm sure everybody wants to know why. Why would he do that? Snarky just said, I bet he had a silencer if he had a 3D printed gun. Yeah, he made 3D printed accessories for guns. So you're right, he probably did have a silencer.
Where was he arrested to? The court documents.
We had to go arrest him. Okay. Yeah. So he was, I don't know why it would list the location as Durango Street. That would be, yeah, probably the location of the jail, I'm imagining.
Correct.
Yeah. But he did not self-surrender, no. So as far as the dirt on his pants, I can only speculate that was picked up somewhere along his day.
Was he arrested at his home?
The dirt on his
home.
pants. Arrested at his home.
As far as I'm aware.
I think they're almost done here. 20 seconds.
Do not have any information to suggest that he's connected to other crimes. Everything. Yeah.
And that's it. Anything else? Sure.
Something that I can't disclose.
And that was the end of the press conference. It literally ends right there. I do have one more clip to show you. Stefan says one of the accessories he sold was named Falscher Dämpfer, which is a German word for fake silencer. Interesting. Okay. Let us also see, is it this clip here? Let's quickly have a look at this one. There we go.
Very small sense of relief coming from this latest arrest. I mean, when this first happened, it shocked the entire community here of Arcadia and also students here at Arcadia High School, where both of these teenagers attended. And for 4 months, they wanted to know who could be responsible. But now with this latest arrest, everyone has the same question, and that is, why did this happen?
She does deserve justice, not just her, but Evan as well.
A sense of closure for students at Arcadia High School. The person accused of killing 2 of their classmates, Evan Clark and Pandora Kjolsrud, has been arrested.
Finding the culprit of the situation just kind of helps benefit the community.
That culprit, according to the Maricopa County Sheriff's Office, is 31-year-old Thomas Brown. Investigators claim he was camping on Mount Ord, about an hour drive north of the valley, the same area where both teens were also camping and found dead. But for 4 months, there were no leads in who was responsible.
I know that some cases like this can go years without being solved. That's what I was really worried about.
Parker Koliniak was in a relationship with Clark. She, along with many of the 17-year-old's friends, speaking at his memorial.
I think this brings a lot of closure to a lot of people.
Especially for the parents of both teens, Sandra Sweeney and Simone Kjolsrud.
I have prayed every day that her killer would eventually be brought to justice.
In a lot of ways, probably the best day that I've had in months, to be honest.
The sheriff's office believes the teens were killed in their car, their bodies then drug 1.5 miles away,
Bloody gloves were found next to the vehicle. Detectives took DNA samples of the gloves and inside the car that they say matched Brown's. A man who actually contacted the sheriff's office right after the murder, saying he had drone footage of the area that he could provide to help investigators.
To drag their bodies 1.5 miles, that's what they say, right? That's 2.4 kilometers. How? That's so far. Right? Okay, anyway, so yeah, he provided drone footage. He was trying to help the police solve the case.
It did. That conversation led to detectives looking into Brown, learning his story wasn't matching up.
He wanted to be a hero and not the villain in his own story.
During Friday's press briefing, the sheriff's office says the victims and the suspect didn't know each other, that Evan and Kjolsrud didn't even speak with Brown.
And they were, as far as we know, complete strangers.
Leading to friends and family asking the same question.
I just kind of want to know why he did it.
Why would someone do this to two teenagers just being happy and having a good time? I can't ever wrap my mind around that.
Now, we did ask the sheriff's office if they could give a possible motive behind these murders, but they said that they don't want to speculate at this time. We are anticipating that information will be coming out during court. The suspect is facing 2 counts of first-degree murder.
All right, so I'm going to link all the sources, all the video clips and everything that I've shown you, and the GoFundMes for both families as well will be linked in the description box for you. So let me just quickly see what oh yeah, we've looked at everything. Also, someone pointed out that it was Memorial Day on May 25th of 2026. That was a Monday. So if his wife left, like he said, on the Monday, maybe she did. Maybe she had to go to work or something and he just stayed behind, right? Because he's self-employed. It is possible, actually. And maybe that factor being Memorial Day, which is a federal holiday, I'm sure you all know this, but for anyone who's not from the USA, federal holiday in the United States for mourning the US military personnel who died while serving in the United States Armed Forces. That could already be a very, I'm not making excuses for him, I'm trying to just risk assess, sensitive day for him, right? So I don't know if he felt like, and now I'm speculating, are people like disrespecting him, the peace, the quiet? Is he mourning the loss of someone? Did he not like loud music? I don't know. Why was he acting strange? What was he doing? Was that a difficult day for him in general, right? We're just thinking outside the box because we don't know that information at this point, right? Okay, so thank you so much for watching and learning about this case with me. Less than half of you have checked if your like button works today or have even tried to touch the like button. Please do so that YouTube can show this to more people so they can learn about this case as we continue to follow the road to justice for these 2 teenagers, 18-year-old Pandora and 17-year-old Evan, who were murdered on or around May 25th to May 26th of 2025. That is so sad. My goodness. And Evan was the only child of his mother. So, I mean, I just can't imagine the loss. It doesn't matter if there's many children in the family. I'm just saying it was her only son, only child. She lost him in such a senseless way. And wow, I'm really proud of Pandora's mother for speaking at the press conference as well. I'm sure that took a lot of strength. And I hope that you will leave some kind comments in the comment section. In case family and friends are watching, they often do. I hope they feel safe here with us and know that we've got their back. And I really hope there will be full justice for them. All right, everyone. Thank you so much. I will see you in the next one. In the meantime, stay safe.